Hey out there, and welcome to Tutorial Tuesday. I am Kate, and today we are going to cover the advanced practice of Savasana. I know what you're thinking, but bear with me. Grab all of the cozy things you have, a couple of blocks, a couple of blankets. If there's a bolster laying around, grab that, roll out your mat or cozy up in bed, and let's get to work. All right, so I know you may be thinking, why are we doing this today? And that's a perfectly legitimate question, but really we're covering it. First of all, I have a little bit of a headache and I'm kind of tired. But second of all, and more importantly, Savasana is a pose that we tend to kind of gloss over. And some of us, I'm looking at you, don't even do it at the end of our practice. And that's a forgivable sin, I suppose, if you were worried about that kind of thing. Sometimes, right, when we have something else we need to do, or maybe you want to sit in meditation instead of moving into Savasana, and there are some times in my videos where I don't include a lot of time for Savasana. So that's not spectacular. That's me trying to fit time, trying to fit into a time schedule. So anyway, we're going to cover some Savasana variations that you can enjoy while you're practicing at home, and maybe after my video ends and you want to stay because you're so cozy. Some very first and favorite version of Savasana is to grab a blanket to put underneath your head and to find something else underneath your knees. So I have a bolster here. It's super old, and I'm pretty sure it has like dog drool and baby drool on it. I'm not sure what the drool is. It could also be Kate drool. Anyway, I like to use the bolster underneath my knees. So when you lay down on your back, sometimes because there's tightness and discomfort, and maybe because we've worked hard in a vinyasa class, there's some pain in your lower back, right? So if you can grab something like a bolster, and we'll go over other variations if you don't have a bolster, and you can bring it underneath your knees, it allows your hip flexors to relax, right? And then you can soften down, and it gives your low back a room to just kind of relax. Super bougie if you've got it. You've got this bolster, right? You can also grab a couple of blocks and put those blocks underneath your heels, right? And this is a great, fantastic, super way to get really ultra cozy in your Savasana, right? So you can do that. If you don't have a bolster at home, we're gonna do a lot of sit-ups. You can grab one of your blankets. And if you're not a blanket under the head fan and you want more lift underneath your knees, then you can double stack your blankets, right? Boom, super nice. You've got this, you can have towels rolled up. You can even grab a couch cushion, shove it underneath your knees, and a pillow from your bed underneath your head. If you don't have any of those at the ready and you're like in the flow and you really don't want to get up and drag other things in, you can always grab a couple of blocks. Not my first go-to, but that's a thing if you're really feeling like you need something extra for your low back. All right, so there it is. Those are our like prop usages. You can always do a Supta Baddha Konasana if you want, right? You can grab your bolster or your blankets. We'll use blankets because I know bolsters aren't like I know bolsters aren't like an everyday thing in everybody's house, right? And then you can just lay on it like this. If you've got a little indigestion and you don't want to lay down, maybe you're pregnant and laying on your back flat is really uncomfortable, or maybe you just want something new. You can also move into Savasana just like that. And hopefully you don't have a dysfunctional block and that block stays upright when you lay on it. But you know, we did it for the comedy, right? But ideally, you'll be supported by all this. It's gonna fall again. And that's kind of lovely too, right? And to make it a Baddha Konasana, of course, you can grab your legs and pull them in like this. Maybe put your fists underneath, but a nice wide spread is always an option. Okay, so there's that. Or you can just lay flat without any of the bells and whistles Legs out as far as you want to take them. Shoulder blades kind of tucked underneath. Palms up toward the ceiling is my modus operandi. That's my favorite way of doing things. But if you're feeling like super like hyped up and you need to really calm down, you can place your hands on yourself. You can place your hands palms down on the floor. I just like the palms open option because it allows my shoulders to soften a little bit more and it allows your chest to open up, right? And the idea here is to just close your eyes and try to relax and do your best to breathe. So your mind is going to wander in Savasana. It's going to go bonkers. Just keep bringing it back to your breath. And I try to say that when we're here. Do your best to just breathing in and breathing out. Sometimes it's nice to focus on a sensation in your body. Sometimes it feels good or is easier to anchor in sounds in the room. If there's air conditioning or a fan going, you can try to keep your awareness there, or just the sound or the sensation of your breath. So I wanted to focus on Savasana today because it is super important to know that rest and finding a way to kind of come to a close in your practice is a really big deal. And that we move through these hard flows, we act like it's more like an exercise, and then we leave and we go do the next thing. But if you can find a moment or two, maybe 5 to 10 minutes of just a Savasana where you can lay down and relax and let your body kind of absorb what you've done in the practice, it is super helpful for your everything to not skip this, right? To really focus on finding a comfortable and a really restful Savasana so you can move into the rest of your day feeling refreshed, even after the hardest class or after like the restiest class ever, right? So anyway, here's Savasana. I know I giggled when I said it was a super advanced posture in the intro, but it is actually quite challenging once you get in it to be in it. So I hope you enjoyed. Leave some comments below. Let me know what your favorite way of going into Savasana is. Bolster, blankets, blocks, nothing at all? Let me know. And I will see you on Thursday with a new practice. Make it a great day.